Are you sick and tired of gambling your hard-earned money on Madden packs? Look no further than my sponsor, MMOEXP, for the cheapest and most reliable MUT coins on the market. And don't forget to use code Ferdy at checkout for 5% off. What's going on, guys? Today we are talking about the best players at each position currently in Madden 24 Ultimate Team. Before we get started, we have our shout out of the day, and that goes to my man Fredzilla. Of course, shout out to Fredzilla for commenting the emoji of the day on last video. And if you want a chance to be shouted out in the next one, let's comment the apple emoji. Comment the apple emoji. And yeah, make sure you stick around to the end of the video, because at the end of the video, we will have this complete lineup filled out with what will be the best God Squad team in Madden 24 right now. And yeah, I probably should say this, but if you do find these videos helpful, hitting that like button is a great free way to support the channel. So yeah, if you find any of these videos helpful, that like button, it does do a lot for a video. But yeah, let's get started with quarterback. So at quarterback, I have two different options. I think the best option in the game right now, and keep in mind, I don't really care about price point as far as this video goes. It's just the best at each position. So Andrew Luck is the best QB in this game right now. Abilities are perfect. If you want to run his X factors, you can do that. He's a good mix of a pocket quarterback and a mobile guy. He's got a good build, a good height at 6'4", and of course does still get those good abilities too. So Andrew Luck, he is the best QB in the game right now. However, if again the price point's too much for you, or if you want to use a guy who's a little bit more mobile, I think it is Mike Vick. Warren Moon is similar to Andrew Luck. Is Warren Moon really that much worse? Like, he's only going for 130k. Is he that much worse than Andrew Luck? No. But to me, Mike Vick, if you want to go a little bit more mobile, is a good option. And yes, Andrew Luck is mobile, but if you want a guy that can, house a one-play touchdown from the quarterback position, running a read option, it's Mike Vick. Also, Kyler's decent, but I do like Vick more than Kyler. But yeah, I do think Andrew Luck is QB1 right now in this game, without question. Okay, so at cornerback, we do have to talk about three different cornerbacks. And to me, there's probably more like four top tier cornerbacks in this game. Antonio Cromartie is still super top tier, 88 speed and that 90-man coverage. If you're playing man-to-man, this card is a must-have. If you're playing zone, I probably would stay away from Cromartie, especially because he's not the cheapest guy out there. But if you play a good mix, Charles Woodson's also a really good option. Same speed as Cromartie, but has 90-man, 90 zone. So I do like Charles more than Cromartie because he's, 6'1". You can play both man and zone and can also tackle pretty well. I guess he's got good finesse moves, 70 block shed for a corner at this point of the year with 81 hit power, and those coverage stats is a really nice mix. I like Joey Porter as well. Joey Porter, kind of another one of those guys that's a really good mix. Obviously, he's more favored to the man-to-man side of things, but also can play zone pretty well with 85 zone coverage there. Good speed at 6'2", and also is a pretty decent tackler as well. He's decent, good pursuit, and 81 hit power. And then the last guy I have is Stephon Gilmore. Stephon Gilmore, more of a man-to-man guy again. But 88 man coverage, 87 speed. There's also guys like Deion Sanders in this game still who are really nice. Deion's still obviously a great card with 88 speed and 90 man coverage. So a lot more man guys in this game. There's obviously easy ways to boost your zone coverage using strat cards and coaches and things like that. But as far as cornerback goes, those are the guys that I like the best. Really any combination depending on your scheme. I think Charles Woodson's probably one of the more must-haves though, because he's able to do both. I'm probably pretty close to selling my Deion Sanders and going to get Charles Woodson, because why not? If I play a little bit of zone, I might as well have the better tackling and better zone coverage on Charles Woodson. So I would say he's probably like the only must-have regardless of what scheme you run on defense. Okay, so now let's talk safeties. And at safety right now, there isn't a clear, or free safety at least, there isn't a clear-cut option that that works in any scheme like Charles Woodson for the cornerbacks. If I was to pick one, it would probably still be just Ed Reed at free safety, because Ed Reed can play a decent amount of man coverage for a safety. If you do need a safety that can play man coverage and kind of play both, a good cheaper option would be the team captain Eric Berry, who's actually a pretty top tier card in this game. But if you're someone that runs a lot of zero blitzes and you kind of need to rely on your safeties to play man-to-man coverage, I would maybe recommend trying a cornerback up there too, because that is a pretty high stress position for corner routes and things that come across the middle. If you are running a lot of zero, you might need safeties that can play that man-to-man. But Sean Taylor, to me, is better than Ed Reed in a lot of schemes because he's a good user as well. You can use the card, play him in the box. He's got great run-stopping stats at 6'2", 220. Can stop the run, but also 90 zone coverage. If you're someone that's playing a lot of deep zones, cover 3, cover 4, things like that, and your safety's not in those man-to-man scenarios, it is Sean Taylor as safety number 1. Ed Reed's really only for the people that are playing, man coverage with their safety. So Sean Taylor to me is number one because he does two things at a high level, and that is play deep zones, stop the run, and can be a good user. So I guess it's kind of three things, because especially if you are running these lighter formations, you need safeties that can tackle. If you're in dime or in dollar, your safeties need to be able to tackle. It's simple as that, because you don't have that linebacker up there, and normally, up front, they get beat up pretty well in this game. So you need your second level guys to be able to tackle, and Sean Taylor is a great example of that. However, at strong safety, there is a clear-cut number one card in the game right now. And if you were to ask me what the best card in the game right now is, it is Isaiah Simmons. There's no way around it. This card can stop the run, can even play slot corner for you, can play man-to-man if you're running zero blitz, can do everything, can even play over the top as well. At 6'4", 238 pounds, this card is a monster. And the main reason why I think he's the best card in this game is because even when early game, I switched to his core elite card that really has no stats to back it up, it's just his physicals. He's an elite run stopper on his core elite because of how big he is and how built he is and how weight matters in this game. And on this card, you back that with elite stats, the ability to play zone, the ability to have hit power, the ability to have speed, all of these things. This card, no matter what scheme you're in, he's a must-have, just like Charles Woodson. No matter where you want to use him. As a user, he's 6'4", can animate like crazy because he is a safety. And also, yeah, the zone's crazy, the man's crazy on this card. You can boost him up pretty well. He is just a monster. So Isaiah Simmons is the best strong safety in the game. And while we're here, we might as well talk about users as well. And I think right now the best user in this game, because of value, 145,000 coins right now is crazy. It is simply Cam Chancellor. This card is a beast, man. This card is a beast for that price tag. Still 87 speed, good zone coverage at 6'3", 225. And it kind of goes back to what I said on Isaiah Simmons, where the weight matters, and you can definitely feel it. And you back that with good hit power, good tackling stats, good impact block. Cam Chancellor is probably the best value buy in this game right now for 170 or 140? Was it 140? 145 is crazy for this card. He is literally probably the best value you can get in this game right now. It's crazy. Okay, now let's talk about a position that has just recently been getting some love, and that is the running backs. The running backs, there's a good amount of options now. They added like 3 to 4 new options into this game. But to me, it's still Bo Jackson as RB1 regardless of price tag. And I do expect content to really ramp up, and I'll probably make another one of these videos 2 to 3 weeks from now, hopefully, if content is good. The reason why this kind of video is kind of gone dry is because there really hasn't been that many crazy updates, and the level progression over the last month has been really, really slow. But Bo Jackson to me is still RB1 in this game. Also, his value is great. Just like Cam Chancellor, one of the best value buys in this game because we have these new expensive running backs. And a lot of people are just buying these running backs to feel something because people are getting sick of using Bo Jackson, but he is just still the best. He's the most well-rounded, is able to get RB Apprentice, is able to get Bulldozer, is able to get Jukebox, and also has just ridiculous stats. Good acceleration, 88 speed, 227, 6'1", can just do everything. So to me, it is still Bo Jackson. If I had to give you a number 2, I would probably give you CMC. Especially no theme team. No theme team, you might change it up a little bit, but most of you guys might have Niners theme teams, and this card with his acceleration and his high COD and his juke move, able to get Jukebox, RB Apprentice, this card is really, really nice. So if you don't want to use Bo Jackson, you're rolling your eyes at me saying Bo Jackson is still the best, then I like CMC, more than Walter Payton, mainly because of that acceleration. You can definitely feel the 86 acceleration on Walter Payton 100%. And I also like CMC's better pass catching and route running. It helps you out whenever someone's running zero-man blitzes. The user has to always think about CMC coming out of that backfield. Okay, at tight end, I have 2 options that I really like. And one probably wouldn't have been on here if I haven't been dominated by a card more than anyone else. And that's Shannon Sharp. For some reason, this dude Shannon Sharp plays out of his mind. I don't know why. I know he's only has 85 speed. I know, I get it. But this card just plays crazy. I don't know what it is. If you're in the streams, this card just kills me whenever I see him. So he has to be mentioned in this video as one of the best tight ends in this game. Also, there is Darren Waller, who I, of course, do like. Darren Waller, 86 speed with 90 mid route running is really, really good. And honestly, hitting that 90 mid route running threshold you're going to see for wide receivers is quite rare. So Darren Waller is a more elite receiver in this game as well because he has that 90 mid route running. But my favorite is Gronk. Great route running across the board besides deep. But if you're someone that runs the ball like me, you need a guy that can run block. And Gronk is an elite run blocker, great impact block, 87 run block at tight end, and can run routes like some of the best wide receivers in this game right now. And not to mention, he also has 86 speed at his position, and he's 268. So to me, Gronk is a do-it-all card. Can play receiver, can play tight end, can play fullback, can even take carries out of the backfield because he has that ability to air truck too. So I like Gronk a lot. To me, Gronk is the best tight end. But for some reason, I had to mention Shannon Sharp because that card does definitely give me issues as a pure pass catcher. He is nutty. And yeah, if you guys do want to see offensive line and interior alignment and even ends, make sure you stick around to the end of the video because, like I said, they will all be on the full lineup at the end. But now I want to talk about edge rushers. And there's 2 edge rushers that I really like. Well, more like 3 edge rushers I really like. For some reason, he's not even on here. I have him on my team, though. But LT, very good. 3 traits, all on yes. 85 speed. Good power move, good finesse moves. But he's not on here. But I also do like the free Micah Parsons. If you have the free Micah Parsons, don't worry about this card. He's not that much better, if any better than the Micah Parsons card. So, yeah, just run your free MCS Micah Parsons. Don't worry about him. On the other side, you could always just sub LT on the other side. I do think LT is better than the next man we're about to talk about. And that is, of course, DeMarcus Ware. But, you know, if you want to play more position, you know, DeMarcus Ware is good on the left side too. He will be on the final lineup. But 86 speed, 89 acceleration, and 90 finesse moves with 89 block shit. DeMarcus Ware is also an absolute beast. So DeMarcus Ware, LT, Micah Parsons, even the new Danielle Hunter card, solid. There are some really good edge rushers in this game. But right now, to me, it's still just outside linebackers that are the best edge rushers in this game right now. And yeah, we have some decent ends, but none of them even come close to what. None of them really even come close to what the outside linebackers have to offer. They have good speed, good abilities, all these things. So yeah, outside linebackers right now to me are the move for your edge rushers. And the final position we are going to talk about today is the wide receivers. And I, of course, have really 2 options that I'm 100% should be in this video. And that is Calvin Johnson. Calvin Johnson has to be in this video at 88 speed, 6'5", great abilities, and hits 2 route running thresholds. It's kind of hard to find these receivers right now that hit route running thresholds. And if you don't know what that means, that's just 90 mid route running or 90 short route running or 90 deep route running or any 90 stat. The route running is the most important, especially in what we're still in is a man-to-man coverage meta. Hitting those thresholds is so important. And again, if the man you're playing doesn't guess which way the route's gonna break in or out, you know, on their shading, their user better get there, man, because Calvin's gonna shake whoever they're on, probably 7 times out of 10, which is a pretty good rate for a receiver in this game with how man coverage plays. However, the acceleration on this card, I do feel from time to time, he does feel a little bit slow sometimes. I'm like, what is he doing? But that's just because of the acceleration. You really want to make sure you can kind of keep him in full speed, in full stride. But once you do that, this card feels great. So yeah, 2 thresholds. I think Calvin is the best wide receiver in this game right now. He's wide receiver number 1. At number 2, we have Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill 100% needs to be mentioned in this video. He's the fastest card in this game right now. 90 speed, no route running thresholds, but thankfully EA did switch up his card and give him slot apprentice. So if you want to play him in the slot, you're able to do that. But getting this card in open space, getting the ball in this man's hands is a major W pause. But major W does get, of course, slot O or slot apprentice, not slot O, slot apprentice. So to me, yeah, Tyreek Hill, Calvin Johnson are 1 and 2 right now in this game. At that number 3 spot, the reason why I say I only have like 2 clear-cut options is pretty much a good blur of just different receivers. You know, all these 87 speed receivers that are able to get slot apprentice, like AJ Brown, like Juju Smith, like Adam Thielen, like Brian Finneran. Finneran's 6'5", but he's at 86 speed, but I think his height definitely does help him. Even Rashee Rice, you know, Devonta Smith, any of those guys, even Mike Evans. Mike Evans is probably my favorite out of all the 87 speed, you know, slot apprentice guys that we have. We have a good variety at receiver for that number 3 spot. Like I said, number 1, number 2, Calvin Johnson, Tyreek Hill. But after that, honestly, it might be Mike Evans. I think Mike Evans might be my number 3. Thinking about it now, I'm going to go Mike Evans. The man's got 88 speed. He's 6'5", doesn't get slot apprentice. But if you have Tyreek Hill or Calvin Johnson, you really only need 1 or 2 slot apprentices in any scheme. Most likely 1 is all you need, if any. So yeah, Mike Evans actually does definitely lock up that number 3 spot for me. And then I would put the 87 speed receivers, that whole jumble of 87 speed guys below him because of his height and the 90 mid route running. If you could find a way to boost that deep route running by 2 and get him to 90-90 like Calvin, that'd be a big W. But yeah, it's actually definitely Mike Evans. Definitely Mike Evans. I'm glad I scrolled down and I saw him because I looked, forgot how good that card was. And I also assumed, I thought he just had 87 speed, but he doesn't. So yeah, for wide receiver, I would say if you can get any of those 3 guys, mix them on your theme team. To me, Calvin is my favorite, and then it's Tyreek, then it's Mike Evans. But yeah, receiver, probably the position with the most depth right now. And there we go. There is the best lineup in Madden 24 Ultimate Team. I went and made it out for you guys with all the adjustments that I kind of made throughout the video. Just me kind of talking and looking through players. Sometimes my thoughts change when I kind of see it and I'm recording, but the offensive line, I look for speed. I think Charles Cross might be the best offensive lineman in this game right now, and debatably a top 5 card in the game. Call me crazy, but I think Charles Cross is a top 5 card in this game right now, and he's getting overlooked by this beautiful card art Andrew Luck, who is, by the way, one of the best card arts we've ever seen, in my opinion. He's a dog. And then on defense, Charles Woodson, Stephon Gilmore, Antonio Cromartie. Of course, there's a bunch of other guys that I talked about in today's video. Joey Porter could even slide in there if you want to do that. But yeah, depending on scheme, that's kind of going to depend on what corners you're going to use. If you skip through the video, go back to the cornerback part and watch it and watch what I said. Like I said, at end, we're kind of weak right now and do use those edge rushers. Even LT could make it in there, so swap those two guys around. At middle linebacker, Ray Lewis is the best, but he's probably not worth what he's going for. If you need to use a linebacker, someone that's more affordable that I like is probably just Manti Te'o. You do see a lot of Manti Te'o on the mud streets these days. So more affordable, Ray Lewis, I would say, was Manti. Safety, I've had Reachon Taylor, Isaiah Simmons, Cam Chancellor, the best user in the game. And one guy that isn't mentioned is Troy Polamalu. He might be a little bit small, but can play slot corner if you want to use him. He's a good card, got good stats. The only problem is his height at 5'10". But yeah, that's gonna do it for today's video. I should fill out kicker punter. Kicker punter, who do I like for kicker punter? Punter, is there anyone with crazy? I guess Ryan Stonehouse would be the guy I like. Stonehouse, yeah, I would say Stonehouse for the punters. And then for the kickers, McManus is probably the guy I would go with. Yeah, I would say McManus. Yeah, that's what I'd say for kicker punter. If you do want to see the complete lineup, there you go. So yeah, as always, I will see you boys in the next one. Let me know if anyone was snubbed from this best at each position video. Let me know down in the comment section. And yeah, like I said, as always, I will see you boys in the next one.